So, will this device the reMarkable Paper Pro Move help me organize my life better? This is just a baby version of the reMarkable Paper Pro, which is something that I've struggled to find a complete use for because of the form factor. It's not something that I bring out. This is certainly that's something that I could bring out because it's small. It'll probably fit in like a jacket pocket. It'll definitely fit in my little bag that I carry. And this could be my new tool to just get my life into some sort of order. The one thing that I've realized over recent weeks and months is that I've been spending far too much time on devices that are distracting. You have your phone, you have your MacBook, you have your iPad, and when you're there to do a task, there are so many reasons, excuses to distract yourself by going online, going on social media, checking a sporting score, checking the news, checking everything, basically doing everything apart from what you specifically sat down to do in the first place. So tasks that take 10 minutes end up taking an hour, you end up doom scrolling, you end up just doing really inefficient work. That's got to stop. And the other thing that I found, the one use that I found that's been super cool with the reMarkable Paper Pro is that I've started to journal, which is something that I haven't done for many years. And I've kept a written diary of events. And the thing about these devices, whether it's the little one or the big one, is not only are you free from distractions, I mean, this thing doesn't even have a time on it. You're not even faced with the pressure that you have to get stuff done in a certain amount of time. If you don't have a watch on, you don't have your phone near you, and you're just here with this, you are actually focusing solely on doing that task that you've got. And you're not moving on, you're not jumping back and forth, you're not getting distracted. In a life that's already full of distraction, in a life that's already full of stuff that takes away our attention, takes away our purpose, and we wonder to ourselves, why do we never get anything done? Why do we always spend this time chasing our tails? And I bet you spend 5 minutes looking back at what you've done in the last week and actually figured out how much time you're spending online rather than doing other stuff, like going out, spending time with your family, playing with your dog, and getting down to the nitty-gritty of tasks. How much time have you spent online? And if you analyze exactly what you have done whilst you were online, I think you'll be shocked to see the amount of time that you could reclaim if you stopped doing any of that stuff. I've come to realize that I spend far too much time inside air-conditioned buildings. One of the problems of sitting outside making a video like this is the trains. But having said that, I spend so much time indoors. I spend probably, I think on average, 9 to 10 hours in an air-conditioned building every day when I'm working, plus an additional 2 hours commuting in my car, where a lot of the time my air conditioning is on recirculate because I am in traffic, there's pollution, there's exhaust fumes, and I drive through tunnels. And you don't want to be inhaling all that stuff. I spend way too much time not breathing in the fresh air, enjoying the sunshine. So I've come to realize that unless I make an intentional effort to get outside more and spend less time staring at screens, this screen excluded because I'm just looking at myself as I make this video. If I spend less time staring at screens, I'm going to feel better. When I was growing up, when I was in my teens and in my 20s, there was actually no such thing as the internet. We didn't spend all this time scrolling through social media. We actually were outside. We played cricket, we played touch football, and we actually went for bike rides and stuff. And nowadays, we don't do nearly enough of that stuff. The convenience of just being online, checking stuff, seeing what everybody else is up to, and then one day you get to realize that I know what everybody else is up to, but I don't actually know what I'm up to. All I'm up to is looking at what everybody else is up to, and I'm not actually achieving anything in my life. All I'm doing is watching the highlight reels of everybody else, and that stops today. The problem with getting so absorbed in the world's information is that it's full of bad news too. You wake up, and instead of just living your life like we used to do in our childhood, we now have so much ready access to all the news that our day can start off bad because it's just determined by whatever news we see first thing in the morning. So if our reaction is the first thing in the morning is to pick up our phone, scroll through social media and have a look at what's in the news, we regularly start the day off in a bad way because no news is ever good news. Like this morning, Trump said something and the stock market fell. So if you've got huge investment, you're going to wake up and you realize that your portfolio has fallen, and that's going to start you in a bad mood. Immediately gets your day off badly. You don't wake up in a bad mood necessarily. You wake up hoping that today's going to be a good day. But immediately, as soon as you wake up, you're bombarded with all this shit. You're bombarded with all this news, but yet we have the ability to control that, but we don't. We like checking the news. It's almost like before we grab our spoon for our cereal, before we get our toothbrush, before we wash our face, we pick up our phone just to check out what is happening. But do you know what? We all know what we're doing. We all know that this is bad, but yet we continue to do it. It's like we can't help ourselves. It's like it's an addiction. It's like we're going to die if we don't have our phones, if we don't have our devices, if we don't have our screens for 24 hours. And in fact, the exact opposite is true. Even if we deny it, life is passing us by. The older you get, the more you realize that. And for every minute we spend worrying about what's happening in the rest of the world, it's the time that it takes away from our ability to create something for ourselves. In the short term, it's like a dopamine hit. We enjoy it because it takes us from our reality. When we look at someone else being happy, we think that'll make us happy, but actually just harbors resentment because we think, why don't I have enough money to do this? Why is my life so much worse than these people? The fact is, their lives has nothing to do with us, and the quicker we realize this, the quicker we start focusing on ourselves and what we can do for us. I'm not saying that we have to keep our head in the sand and not know what the latest current affairs is, but we don't need to constantly fixate ourselves on it, because you know what? There's very little we can do. If some prime minister or some president comes out and introduces a policy that wrecks the financial system and causes the stock market to crash, there's nothing we can do about it. We can't go and ring the president or the prime minister and tell them, hey, this is a bonehead move. You just killed me and you've taken away $100,000 worth of my superannuation because you've said something really stupid on the news. So why am I saying all this, and where does this thing come in? The thing about the reMarkable Paper Pro Move and all the other reMarkable tablets is that if you're after something that works like an iPad, this isn't the device for you. This is a completely focused, distraction-free piece of tech where all you do is do what you're going to write on that particular page. There is no ability to get online, to search for stuff, to check your emails, check your messages, to see the football score. None of that. There's no ability for you to check your stock prices. There's no ability to see what the politicians are saying. This is purely for you. Whether you choose it just to keep notes, to write a shopping list, a to-do list, organize your calendar, journal, write your thoughts down, whatever you want to do with this, it's you, it's private, it's personal, and this is the beginning of the new you. I'm really interested to see whether this reMarkable Move, this portable version of the Paper Pro, is actually going to make things even more convenient in the fact that I can actually take it to places. I am going to set this thing up. One thing that I have noticed is that if you have any thoughts, if you have two of these, whether you have two Paper Pros, you have a Paper Pro, Paper Move, or whatever, if you have any thoughts of keeping them separate, it doesn't really work, because on the same account, your files or your notes sync across the entire collection of your reMarkables. I had the initial thought that maybe I could keep one for work and one for personal and keep the files synced separately, and the only way you can do that is actually to have two separate accounts. In one way, you could do that, but however, in the situation of reMarkable, because you have to pay a subscription to get access to a lot of the features, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to pay twice. What I'm just going to do is create different folders and having subfolders underneath those so that I can keep everything apart. But it would have been nice. My experience with the initial reMarkable Paper Pro was that one thing I really thought would be helpful, or a couple of things. One thing that would have been super helpful was to have a clock on here. Apparently they designed it with the thought that you don't have a clock, just so that you don't get distracted with the pressure of time and you're just here not giving a care in the world as to how long you've been doing it. So I get it, but in terms of a business tool, I don't get it. And the other thing is, it would be nice somehow if you could add some images. When I journaled on my iPad in the past, I like to add a couple of photos in my journals. I like to add a little snippet of a video, something like that. That disappoints me a little, but I guess if you start to do all that stuff, you're moving closer and closer to having like a fully fledged tablet. And I think that's exactly what reMarkable didn't want to do. There are a lot of people who journal with paper and pen, and I guess they say the argument is you can't stick a video on that, but what you can do, you can get little Instax photos and you can stick them on your journal. I'm really excited to test this product out, and the whole point of getting this tablet actually is to help myself organize my brain in a way that I'm no longer spending so much time dwelling on dumb stuff, and I'm focusing on doing things that are actually good for me and healthy for me, and helps get my mind into a better space than it has been over the last few months, because I just feel like I've allowed everything to get to me, and I have sadly in some ways feel like I've lost a little bit of myself, and I want to get that back. It's like therapy for me. The fact that I can jot my thoughts down and organize myself is my way of dealing with the stuff that I'm facing. So hopefully this becomes like therapy, but there is no ongoing cost except for the price of subscription. This guy is fully charged now, so I'm ready to go. One thing that I need to do is to figure out some templates. It doesn't come natively with a lot of cool journaling, calendar type stuff. It comes up with some really rudimentary stuff. It comes out with some different line notepads. I really want to get fully into this. I don't want to be another device where I only half-heartedly use it. I will go online and have a look at some of the free templates, and failing that, I may even spring for a couple of templates. There is an ability for us to design our own. I'm just not sure how easy that is. You have to basically create a document and you have a number of hyperlinks on it so that when you click or touch on these certain tabs, it sends you to another part, especially when you're doing calendars and journals. And once you've designed it, you just send it off as a PDF onto your reMarkable. I feel like with the Paper Pro, which is still going to be my mainstay because it's a bigger tablet, if I'm at home and I'm comfortable sitting on the couch, it actually has more screen real estate and I can actually write better on it. Either way, I just want to find a system that I can actually use. Maybe it's going to end up that I'm going to have to design my own, but it seems like a lot of work. And if someone else has already done it, as I say, why reinvent the wheel? And because the whole point of this video is to set myself up on a journey where I spend less time staring at screens for no reason. There is no reason why I can't stare at a screen if there's a specific purpose. So if I'm looking something up, if I'm actually doing something productive, then that's fine. But the fact that it's so tempting, you all know it's tempting. We sit around, the phone's sitting next to us or in our pocket, the computer's next to us, the iPad's next to us. It is very easy to reflexly, there you go, pick up an iPad, start doom scrolling, checking out your TikTok, checking out your Instagram, having a look at the news, having a look to see what's going on in the world. And pretty soon you realize that your day's over. One of the things I've noticed when I spend a lot of time staring at screens, this reMarkable also has a screen, but it's e-ink. Theoretically, it's better for your eyes. But one of the things I've noticed, when you spend a whole day staring at the screen, your eyes get tired, obviously. And you start getting headaches and your vision's is all blurry because you're focusing so close continuously and you don't give yourself or your eyes a chance to look further ahead. And my neck's getting sore. I'm getting kind of this pain across the back here and it shoots up the back of my head. My head's really tight, and by spending all this time staring at screens, it also takes away the time for you to do stretches and to do exercise, go for a walk and keep yourself active. So it's a double whammy. And there's so many bad things about spending your whole day staring at the screen. One is you're not here in the moment. You're spending your time, even though you're watching TV or you're talking to somebody, you're not really paying attention, if you know what I mean, because you actually, but you're typing or you're scrolling and you're flicking, and you're not actually respecting the person you're actually with. A lot of us complain, me included, that we don't get enough time to spend with our family, we don't get enough time to be by ourselves, we don't get enough time to spend with our friends. But when we have that time, we spend the whole time doing this with our finger, scrolling up and down, checking social media posts. There are certainly times where it's okay if you want to spend a few minutes in your downtime scrolling through stuff, but we all know the term. They didn't invent the term doom scrolling for nothing. They didn't come up with that because nobody did it. They came up with that term because we are of a generation now where we spend so much time staring at devices, and just basically it's like a zombie. It's like we're just staring at it. Flick, no good. Flick, no good. Keep flicking until we see something. That is completely pointless, but maybe it's just a little bit entertaining. And before we know it, it was midday last time you looked at the watch, and now it's 6 p.m. and you haven't made dinner, you haven't sorted out the kids' lunches, you haven't done anything. You were meant to go shopping, you were meant to hang out the laundry, you haven't done any of that because you've been sitting here doom scrolling. Oh, as I've just turned my new Paper Pro Move on, I just noticed that there is a marker update available. So I'm just going to install that. So currently on my reMarkable ecosystem, I have a number of files. I haven't done a lot to take full advantage of this, but I've got some subfolders over here. This is an experimental one, this daily journal. I haven't used it. I'm currently using reCalendar 2025, and I've also downloaded reCalendar 2026. That is free. I feel like I need something better and more in-depth. I just feel like I need something, a little bit more sophisticated than what reCalendar. It's a great free template. But if I just call up a quick thing like that, just a quick sheet, you can see how responsive the pen is. And it's kind of funny because I've got the camera in front of me, so I kind of have to reach around it. You can see how responsive it is, literally like writing on a piece of paper. You can get rid of the menu on the top. You can change the color. I find that the colors are a little bit muted compared to what you get on an iPad. And you can see it starts writing in black and then it changes color. as you finish writing, which is pretty neat. There are all these options which you just have to work through. By default, it saves on your main page, and all you can do is if you long press it, you can decide whether you're going to rename, duplicate, move, or delete. So I'm going to delete it because I don't want to keep that note. And we're back to the originals. If you click on medical, I've got nothing in there at the moment, but you could theoretically add another folder, so it's like a subfolder. So whatever you want to do, this is highly customizable. You can set favorites, you can tag stuff, and the other thing is you can actually integrate it, I think, to Dropbox and OneDrive. This is my iPhone. Basically, whatever is on the reMarkable transfers over to the phone. So it's pretty cool that you can sync across all your different devices. Like I said, the disadvantage of that is you can't have separate devices for different uses because it's all synced together because you're on one account. For those of us who feel like we can make a claim that we don't spend a lot of time on our devices and that we have plenty of time to interact and participate in self-care, I call bullshit. A lot of us spend way more time online than we allow ourselves to believe. If you don't believe me, go look at your screen time on your iPhone. See how much time you actually spend on your phone, and I bet you it's way more than you think. And once you delve even a little bit deeper and you see what type of apps that you're using, I bet you they're going to be things like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. And these are things that, unless you're using it for research, unless you're trying to learn from some of these things, this is purely entertainment. If you're somebody who always complains that they're time poor, that I don't have enough time to spend with my family or do other stuff that I really want to do, the solution to that is just to spend a little bit less time on your phone and online. The concept of controlling time continues to elude the human race. There are no time machines. This is not Back to the Future. There is no DeLorean. So whatever time we have, we need to spend wisely. And I just feel like it's taken me a long time to accept the fact that I spend way too much time in front of my computer doing stuff that I shouldn't be doing. I accept fully that I need to spend the time to take care of things, take care of business, making sure that all the bills are paid, making sure that my CPD for my work is complete, and making sure that I have allocated enough time to edit my videos for my social media and my YouTube. But I spend far too much time doom scrolling, and it's something that I'm trying to get some control of. It is so easy. If the phone was right here now and you're not doing anything, the tendency would be to reach for the phone and start doom scrolling. I don't have my phone on me on purpose for this reason. I just got to stay away from my devices. I just got to make sure I'm not in a room where there's computers accessible. If I'm watching TV, I need to watch TV. If I'm talking to family, I need to talk to family. If I'm playing with a dog, I'm playing with the dog, and I'm not half-assing it because my attention is down here staring at my phone. And do you know what's really funny? I said earlier in this video that I sometimes get headaches from here from spending too much time staring at devices. Well, I haven't actually looked at my computer apart from just copying some of these files over for the last few hours. In fact, I spent very little time on the computer because I went out with my kid and we actually went to the store and she got some Lucana singles, which she's been looking forward to for a very long time. We haven't done that for a very long time. And on a side note, it's crap. I tried to get some cards for myself. The only card I saw was some Mew card, which was $500, and it wasn't even graded, so that was a shock. But you know what? It was actually fun to be able to spend time with my kid without always being on my phone. And we actually talked. And the thing about it is, because we went out, we didn't have devices with us, and surprisingly, my headache's gone. I don't have any pain in my neck. And I feel like I'm standing up straight, even though my arm's getting sore holding this camera, this huge Insta360 Go Ultra. I feel better. It's like nothing that I've seen is affecting my mood. Like I said at the start of this video, I'm not constantly seeing what Trump said now to screw up the stock market more. I'm not seeing what the weather's going to be like. I'm not seeing that it's going to be hotter and hotter as the summer goes on. I'm not seeing all these predictions. I'm not seeing people complain. I'm not seeing people who say, if you're anybody, you should be on vacation right now, because I'm not. I've got responsibilities, I've got things I want to do, and I'm going to start doing them rather than allow myself to waste all my time just doing nothing and being tired because I've spent all day staring at the screen. And ultimately, once I stare at the screen for so long, I kind of regret it because I feel like I haven't achieved anything. I haven't actually gotten anything good out of it. How many times recently at night have I laid in bed, instead of watching, just picking a show and watching it on Netflix, I'm scrolling through social media, I'm watching YouTube videos, but I'm bored and I'm actually not enjoying myself, but I'm just doing it because it's formed a habit. I could easily just sit there and actually just focus on one thing, couldn't I? Even better still, I could be listening to music, I could be journaling, but no, I'm sitting there doom scrolling through TikTok. This is not going to be an overnight success, I don't think, because the temptation's always going to be there. It's like social media being the devil, it is. But I'm going to try. Hopefully, it's reflected in a higher quality of life for me and for those people around me. So next time I get the temptation to just open up my phone and check what's happening on Instagram or TikTok, I'm going to try to do something else. And if I really am desperate to get that fixed, maybe I should do it at work because I get paid for doing it. But in all seriousness, I think things have got to change. I think you can gather from my last few videos that this is the season for change. This is the time when I've made the decision that things can't continue to go this way, and I'm trying my hardest to make a difference in my life. I'm not always going to be successful, I acknowledge that, and some days are going to be better than others. I am almost certainly going to lapse into some bad habits from time to time, but as long as there's progress made, as long as I feel like that I'm getting somewhere, that is a good inspiration and motivation to keep going, don't you think? Anyhow, I think I've spoken enough about this subject. I'm going to go play with my reMarkable later, but right now I'm going to do some stuff that involves being outside. I've also got some Amazon parcels that I need to open, and I might show you what they are next week. Until then, hope you guys have a great week. Remember to like and subscribe and leave a comment below and let me know what your state of mind is when it comes to social media and whether you think you're spending way too much time on social media as well. And let me know if you've got a reMarkable and how you use it, because I'm still looking for use cases to reassure myself that this is worthy of my purchase. Until next time, see ya.